I was curious of what do you think the other surrealists thought of your work?
I doubt if they knew about it, and I'll tell you why. Um, when I was very young, I wanted to do nothing else but become a surrealist artist. And I had my first exhibition in 1948, my first solo exhibition, and not only did nothing sell, but there were angry letters to the local newspaper saying all this work must be burned in a furnace. Because, of course, in the 40s, surrealism was, I mean, everybody thought Picasso was a lunatic. I mean, not genuinely certifiable. Um, the Now he's an old master, of course, but then modern art was simply not a way to make a living. And I didn't particularly want to starve in a garret, so I decided to take up another career. And I gave up exhibiting altogether in 1952. I had my last show, early show, in 52. And then I stopped, and I didn't exhibit again until the 70s. And during that interim, what I did was to develop a career as a zoologist. And I went into television and made animal television programs. So that became my public face. My private face, in fact, the first book written about my work was called The Secret Surrealist, because it wasn't known that I was a surrealist. I went on, I never stopped painting. I never was without a studio wherever I was, so that if I was working for television, I would go to weekend to my studio and paint. And so I went on painting year after year, but I just had given up exhibiting because nobody was interested in surrealism at that time. And so it wasn't known by anybody that I was a surrealist until the 70s and 80s. And I haven't become collectible until the 21st century, because now people are buying my paintings at long last. So at least I'm better off than poor old Vincent, who like only sold one painting in his entire life. And so I've done rather better than that. but that's why the other surrealists, when Miro came to see me, he saw some of my work and he picked out one particular one that he liked. And then when I went to see him, I had a catalogue, and he again picked out one that he particularly liked. But there was a language problem. We couldn't really. I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately, and he doesn't speak English. So we tried a little French, but it was a bit rough.
Bit rough. That talking about your art again. I have your new book, as you might know.
Oh yes, this is my Beasturary. Yes.
So this one is actually that's my copy. And
Yeah.
And then these I'm selling in my little gallery here. I'm pointing like it's right out there. But what I was noticing about this, I was reading the names of your creatures. Red plumed fly by night, is one example. And then the I went away too fast, didn't I, Melissa? Crimson tailed humpcock.
Yeah, I have fun with them.
I was wondering when you put this one together, and then I have a bunch of other. I went nuts ordering your books, so just until I realized how many there were, and I thought I'm a little late to this game here. But I was wondering when you were putting these together, did you switch to your almost like your TV presenter mode? Like, I'm going to present these. Is this a collection of similar biomorphs?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. In 1960, I did a bestiary, and I was just having a bit of fun. It wasn't my serious painting. It was completely separate from my serious painting. I just thought I'll make some strange animals, and I just did it as a joke, really, for myself. And I put them in a drawer, and they stayed there for 30 years, and they were never taken out. And I never intended to show them to anybody. But then my gallery director came, and he was looking for the new work and so on. And he said, "What's this?" And I said, "Oh, that's just a bit of a joke. I just made some funny animals." And he said, No, we must exhibit. I said, "No, I don't want to exhibit them because they're not my serious biomorphic evolutionary work on canvas. It's not surrealism. It's just a bit of fun." but anyway, he took them all off and he exhibited them, and to my astonishment, every single one of them sold, the whole lot sold out, because people found them lighthearted and amusing, and they were collector friendly, and so they all went, 60 of them, and they all vanished. And I thought, well, he was right and I was wrong, but I didn't go back to it again until in the last few years. Perhaps it's my second childhood. I suddenly had the urge to do a few more just for fun, and I did another whatever it is, I don't know, 50. I can't remember how many, about 60 of them, and then thought, well, all right, I'll do another Beasturary book. It's just a bit of fun. You don't have to be serious as an artist all the time. Picasso had moments when he did silly little sketches, little joke sketches, which are still Picasso's, but they're not serious, and you can have a moment of light-heartedness if you feel like it, and that's what that is. So it's not to be taken seriously, it's just a bit of fun. And of course, then I added silly names to them, which were based on the sort of complicated scientific names that you find in the literature, because there are some very strange names given to animals, and I gave mine some strange names.